Lately, this weird thing happened. I've seen this particular film showing up in several Facebook group posts, and then that same film from 1965 is scheduled to be screened at the American Cinematheque here in Los Angeles. I thought, well, that's weird. And then I remembered that that film has been sitting on my shelf for a long time, so maybe this is a sign that I should finally watch it. And that brings us to today's episode. This is the Kazdoy Closet. I'm Kazdoy. That's my closet full of all the stuff that I love. And today we are going to take a non-spoiler look at Otto Preminger's film, Bunny Lake is Missing. Let's check it out. Today's film is Bunny Lake is Missing from 1965 in beautiful black and white. It's about a woman in London who reports that her young daughter is missing, but there seems to be no evidence that she ever even existed. If you're an Alfred Hitchcock fan, I think you're going to like this one for a couple of reasons, or you're going to notice some similarities. The first thing I noticed, believe it or not, was the title sequence. I thought, this has got to be the work of Saul Bass, maybe the most famous guy to do title sequences in films. He also had a hand in the shower scene in Psycho, apparently. But he has a very unique, dramatic, graphic design approach used in all his title sequences, like in films such as Psycho and North by Northwest and The Man with the Golden Arm and Anatomy of a Murder. You can see those two back there if you can kind of tell his style maybe. And those last two films were directed by Otto Preminger, and he also directed this film here. And he does a very Hitchcockian trailer for the film, similar to what Hitchcock did for Psycho, if you're familiar with that trailer. They both appear in the trailer as themselves, and they both give the message that no one will be admitted to the theater after the film starts. So that was kind of the way they sold the films. This one came 5 years after Psycho. But most importantly, both films are a little bit edgy for their time. They're both suspenseful, unpredictable. They will have you reviewing afterwards what you saw to make sure it all made sense, and at least that's what I did with this film, and it did make sense. But remember, there's no similarity between Psycho and this film as far as the plot goes or what happens, so no spoilers here about that. But the basic question here is, does this missing girl really exist? Or is the mother just imagining she has a daughter? And if that's the case, why would she imagine such a thing? There's plenty of suspects to go around, plenty of reasons to justify both scenarios, actually. It starts a little bit slow, but really picks up, I'd say at least halfway in, gets much more suspenseful and interesting visually. I think it's best, like Psycho, that it was shot in black and white, even though, of course, color film existed at that time. And there's one particular sequence taking place in a doll hospital where our main character is walking around in the dark, holding only an oil lamp, and it's just all these weird-looking dolls, old-fashioned dolls, and doll parts like heads and arms and legs laying around on shelves. Very, very creepy sequence. The cast is also very good. Carol Lindley is the main character. She said the screenplay was written specifically for her. She did a lot of TV work and probably best known for The Poseidon Adventure. Her co-star here is Keir Dullea. Of course, the first thing I think of when I see him is 2001: A Space Odyssey, one of my top 10 films. I also liked him in David and Lisa. Laurence Olivier shows up here as a police inspector, and he apparently got on the set and said, "Call me Larry," because he has such kind of gravitas as an actor. And then Noel Coward, I've heard that name. I don't know too much about him. I know he's pretty famous, but he plays this landlord. That's a really creepy character and pretty out there for 1965, I thought. He was actually an actor, writer, composer, painter, among other things. He was once the highest earning author in the Western world. I didn't even know he made films. And then, like I said, Otto Preminger was the director. He also directed some very good noir, like Laura and Where the Sidewalk Ends and Fallen Angel. I also did want to mention the music because I thought the soundtrack was the weakest element of this film, actually. It could have been much darker. Instead of light, it was kind of light in moments that I thought, why is this soundtrack not fitting with the mood of this particular sequence, especially during some more tense, suspenseful moments. And then another interesting thing was a 60s British invasion rock band, the Zombies. They have pretty high billing in this film. They're even on the cover here. And they appear only on TV in a scene set in a pub. And I thought, why are they on here? Why are they given such prominent billing? I guess they're trying to attract a young audience at that time. And I didn't recognize any of the songs they performed in the film. And I'm fairly familiar with the Zombies, but especially love their album Odyssey and Oracle, which was the last album pretty much they did. And it's kind of a classic of the 60s psychedelic era. So my rating for Bunny Lake is Missing, I'm going to give this one a big 4.5 schoolhouses out of 5. Why schoolhouses? Well, that's when the daughter's dropped off at the schoolhouse, and that's where they first look for her, and they can't find her. This is an indicator disc. It is region A, B, and C. This is unfortunately not the special edition. I missed out on that, so there's no booklet here. But there are several extras, including an audio commentary, which I did not listen to. There is a 2006 interview with Carol Lindley. It's about a half hour long. There's a 2017 interview with Clive Reville, who was a pretty prominent English stage actor at the time. It's about 15 minutes long. He played a sergeant in the film. So where can you see Bunny Lake is Missing? I don't see it streaming anywhere. You can rent it for about $3.50 on Amazon. You can buy it at Orbit DVD for $16.99. Amazon was asking like $30 or $35 for it. I don't know why. So feel free to leave a comment or suggestion down below. Leave a thumbs up. Don't leave a thumbs down. Subscribe would be great. Share this with your friends and neighbors. Subscribing is free. Also free is we are on Letterboxd under the Kazdoy Closet. There's a link in the notes down below how to get to that. And that's where we're writing about different things we're seeing besides what we talk about here. But what's not free is my ebook is available. It is True Tales from the Teacher Trenches, the ups and downs from 32 years of teaching. And it's for your Kindle. If you don't have a Kindle, you can use the free Kindle app on any device of your choice. If you have Kindle Unlimited, it's included in that for no charge. You have to go to Amazon.com otherwise to download the book, and it's going to cost you $1.99. So hope you like this one. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.